One serious regret that I have is that I didn't make my channel before the whole Coffeezilla and Logan Paul drama happened. Last year, the entire internet was on the edge of their seats waiting for part 2 and 3 of Coffeezilla's 3-part series that went over Logan Paul's Cryptozoo, and it showed Logan Paul in a way that he might not have wanted to be seen in the public eye. And if you're lucky enough to not know about Cryptozoo, it's a project that Logan Paul released in 2021, back when there was a whole craze around NFTs and crypto projects. You know, just a while back when all dudes between the ages of 18 and 27 decided that they were going to try to convince everybody that the project they were in was going to be the one project that didn't go to zero. I don't know, because misery loves company, I guess. The world has shown us time and time again that if you gift wrap a turd in influencer marketing and try to sell it as something that's extremely needed in the future, then a lot of less business savvy people are going to invest in it, and those same people will literally mortgage their house just to get in on what their favorite influencer says is the next 10x, 100x jackpot move with their money.
I took the advice, but I put my money in the crypto market in the wrong section, and I pretty much lost most of everything.
What does Matt Damon say on that Bitcoin commercial? Fortune favors the brave! My dad said he listened to Matt Damon and lost all his money.
After a crazy amount of people got the rug pulled out from underneath of them, it started to become apparent where all the money went, because even though crypto is anonymous, none of these influencers decided to do any research before peddling the Web3 bandwagon to all of their audience. Eventually, the world gave its head a shake, saw the writing on the wall, and realized that for anybody to gain a 10x on their money, somebody else has to lose 10x on their money. And trusted crypto companies, as well as the influencers that peddled their lies, had rigged the game so that even the investors had no leg to stand on. It was nothing new really, just classic insider trading backed by influencers who put their hands over their eyes and let the owners of the actual companies just ride this thing right into the ground while everybody was losing their money that invested. And I mean, I've seen some of these NFTs in real life. Kind of. There's this NFT gallery in Vegas that I took some photos of, and although they look kind of cool for a split second, you can't help but wonder what kind of businesses could have been there in its place that served an actual purpose and gave the public something that they could appreciate, instead of just being some weird modern statement that loses all meaning when the power goes out. And I'd argue doesn't even have meaning with the power on. Crypto didn't last all of 2 years though before the government caught on to a lot of these companies and started handing out massive fines to them and the influencers who promoted them. I mean, just last year, the Securities Exchange Commission handed out about $40,000 worth of fines to Soulja Boy, one of the Lohans, and Jake Paul, which is probably under the amount of money that just one of these goobers got paid to promote one of these scams, but at the end of the day, at least something was done to address it, and at least, there's a legal statement saying what they did was wrong. Now, I'm sure everyone knows at least 1 or 2 crypto projects that their 30-year-old son or uncle has tried to convince them was the next best thing since sliced bread. But few were as popular as Cryptozoo, mostly due to the fact that Logan was completely pushing this, promising a product that was far different from what he actually delivered to his audience. Just like every other single NFT to this day. This isn't just the Logan Paul thing. Logan Paul, driven by lust and money I assume, said that this game was going to be a game changer. Much like one of his older, utterly pathetic projects called Dink Doink that he promised to everyone was his life's work. Dink Doink. Because Logan at this point is probably thinking that no matter what he peddles to his fan, they're just gonna eat it.
That's what people want. Give us some shit. Manja, we're the people. Give us the shit. Manja, manja, manja.
Logan Paul said Cryptozoo was not gonna be like any other NFT. No. This one, he said, is gonna be different.
I am so excited about this project. It's so fun. It's a really fun game that makes you money.
Logan Paul didn't make this because it was his life's dream. He made it because at the time, Axie Infinity was dominating the game. Essentially, it was another pay-to-win game that allowed kids to work for money, essentially. Which sounds a lot to me like child labor, because Logan's audience is predominantly children and he's advertising a game to them.
For the last 6 months, I've been working on my own NFT project. I think there needs to be a fresh take. And this project that I have is that fresh take.
I think that's the most important thing we're doing. Kids are gonna care about the blockchain because of my project. Imagine your first experience on the blockchain is with Cryptozoo.
Logan Paul was actually out here trying to introduce things into kids' lives that was and should be the right of the parents to decide to introduce to begin with. Like when you get to this level of popularity, even if you do not possess the right to try to change the opinions of kids out from underneath their parents' nose. That's just horrible, and I think we can all agree that the world made a big mistake making Logan Paul popular. He shouldn't be allowed or able to attempt to make the world a worse place just so he's able to make more money in it. Like, I'm pretty sure if you took an honest, wealthy person who isn't corrupted by the money they have and asked them if children should become part of the workforce, regardless of how much money that they would be able to make because of it, they would shake their heads no, because it is immoral to get young, addicted minds to farm internet funny money just to go in the pockets of rich people who don't give a crap about these kids. Like I said, there's also adults in there, but like, come on, it's Logan Paul. Mostly kids.
To combine over 500 fucking animals, you know how much time that takes?
That's kind of a laughable statement because Logan Paul was out here promising us the spider monkey from Spy Kids, but then tried to pass off the most half-baked looking mid-images I've ever seen from AI. I mean, I think that's pathetic. Let me see what I can do with 1 minute of AI. Dog mixed with a spider. The legs are a spider. Let's see if that does anything. The legs are a spider. I mean, I'm not that great at prompting. You gonna do anything? Oh, look at that. Oh my god. That is infinitely better, and I'm pretty sure under 1 minute. So yeah, I'm pretty sure Logan Paul was gift wrapping a turd and selling it to those for sometimes thousands of dollars. The same kind of people who would ask you to Google something when they could easily Google it themselves because, you know, those kind of people, they just listen to other people's advice. And so when you have influence like Logan, it's really dangerous to say something is worth investing in. Now, to be expected because of Logan's past, there were some delays that happened. The game was quote unquote unplayable on release, and anybody who had bought into the NFT or the coin of Cryptozoo was left with no updates, holding the bag, wondering what the heck's going on with their investment.
So I acquired a bunch of eggs, and I actually want to play the game. I didn't acquire the eggs with the intent of keeping them. I actually wanted to hatch them and see what I got out of them and play in this ecosystem that's been advertised or whatever, right? And then I can't do anything. It's not showing up on the website when I connect my wallet, etc., etc.
In the midst of this, Logan Paul did go on a podcast to address what was happening, but was not taking any blame, which painted him in a really bad light to his investors because he was complaining about his team being bad actors. But it was still him that put together the team, as well as told everybody to invest in the project.
Cryptozoo, where our lead developer took the code that he made, fled to Switzerland, and like held it hostage for $1 million. I've tried my best to move with integrity in this space, and I think since I came from a world where ads and corporate sponsorships were so new, I kind of, along with other influencers, didn't act super responsibly sometimes in this space, because I know there's people in the crypto space who are unhappy with some of the things I've done. And you know, my question is, what can we do? Because the fixes are not overnight. They're gonna take a while, and I get a little too ambitious sometimes in some of my pursuits, and I think sometimes things that are either impossible or close to being impossible are possible. And I get caught up moving too quick, which we've done.
So I guess, I mean, either Logan or Jeff, you for this, was the mistake that you moved too fast? It's hard to do research on people, for example, that dev. What was the mistake specifically that you look back on and you're like, this is what should have been done differently?
More preparation, more education, more time to learn and find the right partners. So this is my passion in life, is being a part of this team, helping build. I dedicate myself to this craft and to do what we do. This is my passion in life, is being a part of this team, helping build, being, seeing what we can build for the world. And it's a lot of time, it's a lot of effort, but this is what I love to do and enjoy doing it. And I hope that people enjoy what we deliver.
Now, instead of realizing or admitting that he made a horrible lapse of judgment, again, Logan Paul decided to piss off all the Cryptozoo investors by releasing an even newer NFT because he knew, in my opinion, that there was a time limit to the NFT craze, to the entire crypto phase in general, and he was okay putting Cryptozoo on the back burner just as long as he could get a new slew of people to invest in his newer NFT, and so he could just make some more money in the meantime. Meet 99 Originals, made by probably the most unoriginal person on planet Earth. And again, Logan was saying that this was the next big thing to all of his investors because I'm pretty sure at this point, the dude's moral compass was bent straight up, pointing towards his chin.
Over the course of 99 days.
An artistic journey, actual art.
I can't stop thinking it's the only thing I care about.
Each picture is an NFT.
I need to take the craziest, coolest photo I can every single day for the next 99 days.
All tied to my entire life.
At this point, it still was pretty easy for Logan Paul to just release another crypto project, and most people would invest because not a lot of people would realize what just happened with Cryptozoo. Then out of the woodwork came Coffeezilla with his 3-part series, going and doing a deep dive on Logan Paul's Cryptozoo and showing where all the money went. In this 3-part series, Coffeezilla just gave his opinion, laid out the facts, and presented it in a timeline fashion. The first video of the 3-part series that Coffeezilla released was extremely well liked because I think there was a subset of people who already had a predisposition to hate anything that Logan Paul did. But then those views pushed it to an audience that was much more impressed by the way Coffeezilla presented his evidence in such a professional and journalistic form. Everyone on the internet covered this, from people like Charlie, who's fairly non-biased, to people like Kavos, who picks a target, in this case Logan Paul, who he dissects in every which way he can possible.
Absolute disgrace. How hard is it to just be like, hey guys, if you got scammed, show us your wallet, here's your money back.
No hate, by the way, Kavos. You get mad so I don't have to. Mass media coverage from other creators made Coffeezilla pretty much an overnight sensation to the internet.
Guy who think that they're smart by investing into a crypto scam or an NFT scam.
The most narcissistic human I've ever seen online.
You're not using like a project. It's a game. It's a game. It's a really fun game that makes you money.
Now you might be wondering, how?
So much so that Logan made a fiery response that he just as quickly took down after the internet did their thing and basically bullied him until he had to take the comments off.
Coffeezilla. I watched your 3-part series called Investigating Logan Paul's Biggest Scam, and like many on this platform, you have successfully used my name for views and money. While your work used to be impartial, your addiction to clicks has clouded your judgment and you've made very real errors with very real repercussions.
Coffeezilla is not a criminal. I called him, I apologized. My initial response to his series was that of fire, an ego flare, whatever it is, pride. I'm a fighter at heart, and I was defensive because I know I never scammed anyone with this project. I never made any money, never sold any tokens, and I only had the best intentions going in.
Now, if the internet believes Logan's story here after him having a history of asking forgiveness after he screwed up, that's on them. But I really don't believe that anybody thinks that Logan's sorry. With all the damning evidence that Coffeezilla brought to the table, I don't think anybody was expecting Logan to lie to Coffee when he said that he wasn't going to go through with his lawsuit.
But the fact is that suing Coffeezilla is not going to help Cryptozoo holders, so I do need to focus my attention where it should be.
It really seemed like Logan had no ground to stand on, especially after video 2 and 3 of the series got released, showing where all the money went from the investors. Then a week ago we got an update, and it seemed like there's going to be a lot more drama to this story than we had thought, because this lawsuit is going through where Logan is suing Coffeezilla and his production company Coffee Break for defamation. Plaintiff Logan Paul, a globally recognized entertainer, athlete, and entrepreneur, brings his defamation action against defendant Stefan Findison, aka Coffeezilla, a self-described investigative journalist and internet detective with no actual journalism training or private investigator license, to hold him accountable for maliciously and repeatedly publicizing false statements, accusing Paul of operating a scam in connection with a troubled blockchain project called Cryptozoo. So what I got from that first section is that Logan Paul is going after Coffeezilla strictly because he thinks Coffee was looking for views. And then, like a broken record, sticks to his story that it was entirely his team's fault. Starting when he released a 3-part YouTube series on Cryptozoo in December 2022, and continuing on to the present, Coffeezilla has perpetuated the false narrative that Paul scammed and defrauded his own fans in connection with the project. Coffeezilla has perpetuated this false narrative despite knowing it to be completely and utterly false in order to enhance his own profile and increase his viewership and income in the process. And indeed, he has done so. Despite being in the possession of, and purposely admitting from his series and related statements, overwhelming objective evidence that Paul had, in reality, been enthusiastic about the project and deeply committed to its success, only to be deceived by several of the project's trusted advisors who turned out to be con men. So he's passing off the blame of his wrongdoings to Coffeezilla, trying to say that the real crime here is Coffee just showing the world the very real things that he found Logan Paul to have done. Basically, he's saying that Coffee showed his dirty laundry to the world, and because he wants the world to think he has a clean room, that must have mean that Coffee's the one that ruined his reputation. Not himself or anything for promoting a project that didn't have any legs to stand on from the beginning. Coffee showed multiple accounts of people that were getting scammed out of their money that were too scared to come forward, and those people did show disdain for Logan Paul's business practices, as some of them showed evidence that Logan knowingly kept taking money from people while knowing that the project was going under.
With the intent of keeping him, I actually wanted to hatch him and see what I got out of him and play in this ecosystem that's been advertised or whatever, right? And then I can't do anything. It's not showing up on the website when I connect my wallet, etc., etc. So I'm a little baffled. I'm like, I must be doing something wrong. Let me tell you, it's never been up.
All you had to do was go on and tell us, look, there's something going on with this project, I'm abandoning it, or whatever, before people got more and more trapped. And promising, yeah, this is going to be great. But when it came to actually doing anything, he just hid away from it.
Have some decency to come out, talk to the people that invested initially, that invested along the way on all of the fake and false promises and all of the false hype, and be honest with people.
Because surely Logan Paul, who's got this $1 billion hydration company and a WWE star, he's got enough money. He doesn't need to rug us lot.
But the real hard hitters in these videos were never these anonymous accounts that Coffee decided to include. They were just some icing on the cake. Regrettably, despite rightfully exposing the wrongdoing of Ibanez and Grainbomb in his YouTube series, defendant Coffeezilla understood that accusing a celebrity like Paul of perpetuating a scam would generate potentially more clicks, views, and ultimately revenue, and would increase his own profile. Coffeezilla therefore titled his series Investigating Logan Paul's Biggest Scam, and he proceeded to confidently tell his viewers not only that the project was a scam, but that it was a scam conceived of and perpetuated by Paul. The 3-part series was viewed tens of millions of times. Each of the videos remain among Coffee's most popular of all time, and viewers of the public at large were captivated by the narrative of an unserious social media influencer who had supposedly used his fame to dupe his fans into investing money into a fake crypto project while always intending to abscond with the money. The entire lawsuit was basically Logan Paul saying he only ever had good intentions. But in my opinion, the moment the ship started sinking, he could have told everybody to jump ship, but he didn't, and he actively didn't tell people to stop investing. He just stayed silent, which is not an attempt to rectify anything in my opinion. You can't just stay silent and let shit hit the fan. Logan got mad when Coffee showed the internet what he was hiding. But in reality, anybody could have went online, got public information, and made those connections themselves. And when it's presented in front of you, it actually does paint Logan as one of the bad guys.
That guy. Logan replies, "Oh Jake, trust me bro, I am that guy."
But Logan did those things to himself, not Coffee, not the reporter. It's the same as if a camera recorded somebody doing a robbery and then the robber sued the camera because of defamation because he didn't want to be seen getting away with the jewelry. It makes no sense. But Coffeezilla knew full well that Paul had never set out to scam anybody, but to the contrary had always intended to build a legitimate blockchain-based game for participants to enjoy with a like-minded community. Wow, Logan, that's putting words into Coffeezilla's mouth. That's something that he never did to you in any of his videos of him showing your transactions, interactions, and recordings of you that have your name on them. Not his. And what's with this "we always intended to make a legitimate blockchain-based game that everybody would like" nonsense? That's literally a repackaged way of saying that they're trying to make a game that allows kids to waste their time making money. So in reality, he wanted to open up the door and allow kids the opportunity to make money. Isn't that also known as a... Logan basically goes on to admit he knows jack about crypto and relied on his team that he knew nothing about to make these decisions. Like, Logan, how are you trying to say that you pulled the wool over your own eyes and so it's not your fault? Let's use an analogy. If I'm the passenger and the driver puts a blindfold on and puts the pedal to the floor, I'm gonna blame him when we crash. And if we're going with that analogy, then in Logan Paul's case, the driver didn't even know how to drive before he told you to hop on in for the ride of your life. Yeah, this is absolutely insane. YouTube series was released at the end of 2022. He decided to instead focus his efforts on trying to make things right with those who had shared his enthusiasm for Cryptozoo, only to be left disappointed when it failed to materialize. In January 2023, Paul announced that he was working on a buyback program for disappointed Cryptozoo NFT holders. Even though Paul had not personally received the proceeds from the sales of the NFT or otherwise earned any money from the project whatsoever. The buyback was completed in March 2024, and it resulted in Paul successfully coming out of pocket to distribute over $1 million worth of Ethereum to eligible NFT holders. Despite his anger over Coffee's actions and the massive harm that Coffee's false accusations caused to his reputation, Paul was initially willing to let bygones be bygones. After all, Coffee had claimed all along that his Cryptozoo investigation was motivated by a desire to call attention to regular people who had purchased Cryptozoo NFTs, only to see their investment become worthless. Paul naively believed that his commitment to the buyback program would help him find common ground with Coffee in that regard. This man blindly promoted a project that he called his own, and then when he dropped the ball and left people holding the bag, claims that it's Coffee's fault that he is made out to be the bad person. He claims it's Coffee's fault that he is the exact person that he is, when you consider all Coffee did was lay out the facts that happened. Now, looking at this lawsuit, I'm a little confused. Although this story broke the internet for some time, it really didn't change Logan's public perception. All it really did was validate the opinions of people who already didn't like Logan to begin with before any of this came out. The community who paid attention to his previous NFT failure like Dink Doink were never going to like him going forward. So it's not like Coffee made a huge subset of his fans realize that they don't like him or anything. Logan did that by promoting a loaded gun. In reality, I think Logan is trying to send out a clear message to anybody who's willing to air out his dirty laundry to the public, that he will dip into the $1 billion Prime Fund just to make sure creators think twice next time they want to air his dirty laundry to the public. In my opinion, Logan must be taking the legal route in order to scare Coffeezilla and anybody who wants to follow in his footsteps. I think Logan knows he has nothing to back up his statements and rather wants to just establish himself as this untouchable influencer who nobody can talk shit about. Now, this was in regards to a portion of the video where he was talking about Logan's videos between him and Greenbaum.
Logan, you stole 40 million in tokens from me. You are a scam artist. You are a liar, and you betrayed your own community. You aren't that guy. Logan replies, "Oh, trust me, bro. I am that guy."
I guess Logan is just complaining about the tone Coffee used, because in all reality, Logan, you said that. But Paul misguided Coffee's motives. Even after Paul announced the buyback, Coffee simply could not help himself from dipping back into the well that had proven so effective in earning him viewers, attention, and revenue, both from his YouTube earnings as well as an associated Patreon account that he used to solicit donations from subscribers. In the summer of 2023, and continuing into 2024, Coffee began publishing additional YouTube videos, which he had also teased and hyped on X, formerly Twitter, in which he again repeatedly claimed to the public the false allegation that Cryptozoo was a scam and a fraud conceived of and perpetuated by Paul. Those messages make abundantly clear that Paul had nothing whatsoever to do with Greenbaum's illicit dealing and manipulation of the Zoo token and, to the contrary, was outraged by it. In fact, Coffee then details now in the lead up to the official Cryptozoo launch day in September 2021, i.e. the day egg NFTs were made publicly available for purchase, Paul and the founders minted a new Zoo token and airdropped an identical amount to certain holders of the original Zoo token, while blacklisting others. By doing so, Paul and his team took affirmative steps to exclude wallets associated with Greenbaum, that he would be unable to further manipulate the market and jeopardize the integrity of the project for his own financial gain. Only then did Coffee reveal the full context of the text exchange he teased at the end of part 1, in which an unidentified individual accuses Paul of stealing 40 million in tokens, calling him a scam artist, The unidentified individual is revealed to be Greenbaum, and the context of the exchange is Greenbaum's complaint about Paul's efforts to stop him from manipulating the market for tokens and enriching himself at the expense of other buyers. In other words, the full context of the exchange, which Coffee is misleading represented to the viewers as evidence of Paul's involvement in a scam, actually reveals the exact opposite to be true. So Logan is straight up saying here that because Coffee didn't just straight out in the beginning of his video say, hey, Logan Paul didn't actually make any money here, that he was somehow intentionally painting Logan in a bad way. But who in their right mind is going to completely screw up their video just to make somebody who's ultimately already in the wrong happy? Logan also confirmed in the lawsuit that Coffeezilla in his videos confirmed that Logan didn't scam people. And the lawsuit also acknowledged that Coffee stated that Logan never made any money from the project. Coffee then asserted that Paul is nevertheless not innocent in all of this, because he was the face of Cryptozoo and ultimately failed to deliver a viable game. Coffee showed the facts, and the facts said that Logan turned a blind eye to his investors. And I'm not sure how he's using it as some sort of gotcha. Now, this is the part that gets me. Regrettably, despite rightfully exposing the wrongdoing of Ibanez and Greenbaum in his YouTube series, Coffeezilla understood that accusing a celebrity like Paul of perpetuating a scam would generate exponentially more clicks, views, and ultimately revenue, and would increase his own profile. Coffeezilla therefore titled his series Investigating Logan Paul's Biggest Scam, and he proceeded to confidently tell his viewers not only that the project was a scam, but that it was a scam conceived of and perpetrated by Paul. The 3-part series was viewed tens of millions of times. Each of the videos remain among Coffee's most popular of all time, and viewers and the public at large were captivated by the narrative of an unserious social media influencer who had supposedly used his fame to dupe his fans into investing money into a fake project, while always intending to abscond with the money. But Coffee knew full well that Paul had never set out to scam anybody, but to the contrary had always intended to build a legitimate blockchain-based game for participants to enjoy with a like-minded community. In addition to knowing that Paul did not profit from the project in any way, Coffee possessed scores of contemporaneous internal text messages between Paul and his co-founders showing, for example, that Paul was adamant that the project be extended to perfection before being announced publicly. So if I'm reading this right, Logan Paul is doing some pretty top tier level gaslighting. Basically just insinuates that he expects his journalism friends to look at facts, ignore them, even if they have breadcrumbs that lead right back to him. Logan actually expected Coffeezilla, after all of the history there, to just take his word for it during the phone call like it was some sort of magical moment he was about to turn over a new leaf and not screw anybody over. Shortly after his announcement, Paul spoke on the telephone with Coffeezilla to move on from the dispute. Paul actually believed that the call was productive. In relevant part, Coffeezilla expressed his behalf that Paul was not a bad actor, but that he had gotten caught up with bad people in the Cryptozoo project. He complimented Paul's buyback announcement, stating it was a noble thing to do, and that he had never seen this type of initiative carried out. Given that Coffee had claimed all along that his motivation for publishing videos about Cryptozoo was to seek justice for the victims, Paul hoped and expected that he and Coffeezilla could bury the hatchet in pursuit of the common goal. Regrettably, Paul completely misjudged Coffeezilla's true motivations.
It's always good if victims get any money back, and we should celebrate that. However, number 2 is that doesn't mean we can't fight for 100% of what they deserve. And Logan Paul is not a hero for doing this or making things right. He's a serial scammer who's offering a minority refund as a last-ditch effort to save his wallet.
I get it. Logan is under the spotlight, under intense scrutiny for every problem he does. Any mistake he makes is publicized, but couldn't he just go hire a bunch of people like he's hired these lawyers to just dot his I's and cross his T's and make sure if he releases something to the public that it's highly vetted by smart people that he pays, that he's vetted? I don't know, man. The lawsuit then goes on to reference a bunch of tweets and comments. It even goes as far as to say that the root cause of this lawsuit is legit because of some of the opinions that were changed after they found out more about Logan Paul. This lawsuit is turning out to be more and more like a hurt feelings report, with Logan complaining that Coffeezilla said the truth, but just in a little bit of a malicious way, when in reality, Logan wants this lawsuit to make you forget that he had any part in the wrongdoings. Just let me remind you that he himself stated that this is his game. He took ownership for it.
For the last 6 months, I've been working on my own NFT project.
Logan wants everybody to think that Coffeezilla had it out for him. But when you really look at Logan's argument, he says that Coffeezilla made him out to be a bad guy, even though he didn't profit. But when's the last time somebody needed to profit to ruin somebody else's life? You don't. You literally just have to look the other way and let things fall apart.
And if he did, gave a full refund, we would all celebrate. Me foremost. But will he? Or will he try to dodge responsibility, cheap out, rip his fans off, and avoid accountability? I think it's the latter.
The lawsuit in its entirety is for 75 grand, and from the looks of the lawyers that Logan hired, I'm pretty sure that Logan is just doing this because he really just feels defeated by Coffee and wants to deliver some sort of personal blow back towards him. Logan went out and hired 5 lawyers from 3 separate law firms that mostly handle these types of cases. And although I don't want to mention who these people are because of the nature of what they do, these are some massively high-end attorneys that cost anywhere from $500 to $2 grand for 1 hour. And if you ask me, that money could have very much been better placed in the hands of the Cryptozoo victims.
Have some decency to come out, talk to the people that invested initially, that invested along the way on all of the fake and false promises, and all of the false hype, and be honest with people.
It's all just so weird to me. Logan has a lot of things going for him still after all of this. He's still gonna have a massive audience, and his fan base of children will probably never realize what happened between Coffeezilla and him. Also, if Logan wins this lawsuit, I don't think he's going to change the minds of anybody who doesn't like him. That's done for. Move on, dude. Logan says he doesn't like how the video frames him. Like, brother, the world doesn't like how you're framing yourself lately. Suck it up, Logan. You take the much deserved L. You deserve this one. I really hope that Coffeezilla eats this lawsuit for breakfast, man. He has my full support because just like Logan gaslit his fans, his attorneys are now trying to gaslight the judge. But I'm not too sure how convincing Logan's argument's gonna be, especially if they get an old judge who was raised to take criticism on the chin and learn from it, not sue the dude for pointing out your wrongdoings. I literally have no idea how this is going to unfold. With everything that's happened in 2024 so far, I don't even want to make a prediction because I'll probably be wrong. I am looking forward to seeing Coffeezilla's statement on this situation, although building a case and staying quiet might be the best play for Coffee when he's battling such a crybaby with an endless pocket of money to throw at his feelings. And I'll be updating you as the situation unfolds, so please leave a comment. I want to see what side you're on. Do you think Logan was depicted too harshly in Coffee's videos, or do you think Logan got exactly what he deserved here? Anyways, a sub to the channel is always appreciated, and leaving a like gives me goosebumps sometimes. Try it.
And I'm ready to start sucking some dink.